November 1, I'll be eligible.
Okay. And probably, possibly, might be.
Possibly by the end of the year.
Okay.
Potentially.
How many years do you have?
That'd be 25.
And you've been on this pretty much the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Paula said she'd be here, right?
Mm-hmm. That was our understanding. Mr. Ham had told us well ahead of time, maybe even at the last meeting, that he couldn't make this.
Yeah, I remember that. But I just remember the email chain from Thursday, Friday.
My understanding was Paula was going to make this time. She couldn't make the later time if we changed it.
For a couple minutes.
Is 3 a quorum?
I think 3 is a quorum, isn't it?
You are good. Yeah, you can have, we're good either way. Yeah.
Ta-da.
And there you go.
There she is.
Right on time.
I hope you brought enough for everybody.
I'm doing my lunch in here for later, too.
Morning.
Good morning. I just had my smoothie, too.
Yeah, the morning's been a little busy already. So. My morning's been busy already.
Right.
I think I'm ready. Yep. Okay, we'll go ahead and call the Oldsmar firefighter pension meeting to order. First item on our agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is open forum. Seeing nobody. Moving on. The next item is approval of the minutes from the April 16th meeting, included in our packet.
I'll approve the minutes.
Second?
Any discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
I apologize. Who made the second?
Power.
Thank you.
Next item is an election of a board secretary. So previously, Kenny Saron was our secretary.
Who was?
Kenny.
Hmm.
In the past, we've kind of had the firefighters that kind of do both positions, the chair and secretary, but I think it was more just for ease of access, in case something needed to be signed. But we can choose whoever we would like here on this board if anybody's interested. Not a lot of responsibility, really. It's backing up signatures for annual reports and behind mine, and running the meeting in my absence.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
But we have to have one identified.
I'll do it then.
You good?
Roped him in.
Perfect.
Yep.
Could we take maybe a first, second to vote on
I was
that?
gonna say, do we want to vote?
Yeah. If somebody wants to nominate him, somebody wants to second it, or.
I'll nominate Brian Ludiker for position of secretary.
Second?
Any discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Next item is our quarterly pension plan investment report for March 31.
Okay. If I may, do you mind if I touch on two other items real quick before I go into that?
And, I don't mind, no.
Okay. The first is real simple and easy. Just your annual report just got approved, so it didn't make it onto here. Just wanted to let you all know that was handled. So we'll be getting our state dollars as we expect mid-late August, hopefully. And then a question was brought forward. If you recall at the last meeting, your attendance policy was in your packet. I had to go back and remind myself real quick. I was listening to it. I think we just kind of basically had a 30-second. Did everybody see it? Any questions? Everybody was good, and we just kind of moved on. There was a question brought to me of whether or not you wanted to take any formal action. Actually, I think, was there a place to sign it?
Yeah, we can
As
make a
it-
new policy
Yeah.
and then have Renee.
Just an updated policy date that it was reviewed.
Whether or not that, if you wanted to do that, or if you had any thoughts as it relates to
I
that.
don't think there was any, we didn't change
You
anything
you
to
didn't,
it.
correct.
I don't know that we need to put it through that
We'll
process.
just put out a new policy for you to sign that way there's a new date on it.
Restate.
Restated,
Fine.
yeah. That's fine.
Okay. All right, that's it for that part. So I will go into the investment side, which yet again, another really good quarter. Now, this is as of March 31st. So I'll go over your dollar amounts first. Your beginning balance for the quarter was a little over 9.9 million. There was 174,000 in contributions that came in. As I mentioned, another good earnings quarter, up a little over 450,000. Paid out 22,500 distributions, had just under 13,000 expenses. So your ending balance was $10,552,881.91. And then the next couple pages are the accounting of that. Any dollar-related questions before I jump over to the investment side? No?
No.
Okay. So as I mentioned, already a couple times there, just another really strong quarter. Fund was up 4.57%. Puts us fiscal year, that's your halfway point of your fiscal year. The fund was up 12.87%. So the market just continues to churn along. It's pretty amazing. I'm a little bit of a broken record, and I apologize for that, but the market's kind of a broken record in the sense that it's really everything still continues to hinge, for the most part, on inflation and interest rates. You know, what's the latest economic data reports, and then, of course, the better report we get, the worse inflation tends to be, which means interest rates stay higher longer. And so we're kind of just tiptoeing around on trying to balance that out. The good news is for the last couple of years, and I apologize, although I'm glad I was wrong on this account, is, you know, we've been talking about recession, just seemed inevitable. And then here we are the last 2 years. We made 8.5% roughly last year. Through 2 quarters, we're up 12.87%. So, you know, pretty much any investment and consultant, the actual portfolio managers, you know, they're all just continually scratching their heads saying, I'm not sure exactly why things are just moving the way they are. As far as nobody would have predicted it. And there's a big disconnect, of course, I think, between Wall Street and Main Street right now. Not that they're always perfectly correlated, but it seems to be a kind of a bigger disconnect now than at other times, right? Because we're still feeling the pain in our daily life. I mean, my wife went to Costco this weekend, and this is not a knock on her. She didn't even come home with that much stuff, and it's Costco, for crying out loud. And I happened to see the receipt, and I choked a little bit. I mean, it's, you know, that's supposed to be the cheap store. So it's, you know, we're all, of course, still feeling all of those pains, but then yet we're seeing, you know, record highs on all the major indexes almost every single day. Kind of jumping forward, the June quarter may be slightly up, maybe slightly down. But then July, I mean, the rally just has started again the last couple of weeks. So we're off to a huge start.
Yep.
Now, what I haven't seen, I'm kind of curious. Market's up again to this morning. I wasn't sure how it would react to the weekend's events, which I won't get into. Although that said, you know, going forward in a normal scenario, any presidential election should come with some volatility come the end of the summer, fall, as we're moving closer to November. So there's an expectation that, you know, we never know what the market's going to do anyway, but who knows? And then I think things seem, you know, every 4 years you always say this is the most important election, this most important election, and then they say it again the next 4 years. And I'm not here to talk about whether it is or isn't, but it just seems, things seem a little more volatile. And only say, again, only highlighting that in terms of it's just impossible to kind of predict what the next few months might look like in the market, but yeah, please.
Yeah, refresh my memory, we're in the 60/40 fund?
Correct.
Yeah, the performance
If
there,
you'll allow me, 60, 30, 10, only for
Okay,
clarification.
10% cash.
30%, no, 30% fixed income, 10% real estate,
Oh, got it.
60% equities.
excellent, yeah. These numbers are excellent, given the kind of diversification, because it's low volatility, and that's important. I know there was some discussion at the last meeting about maybe going to a 70 or maybe splitting or something. These kind of results here, in a defined benefit type plan, you're not looking to hit home runs. You're looking to hit lots and lots of singles and doubles and just a lot of consistency. Very, very good numbers. And again, Mark has been cooperating too, and it'd be,
Yeah, I mean, if you're not making money right now, you're really doing something wrong. But no, overall, we're very pleased with our managers. Actually, we, as a refresher, and if I haven't hit on this for the newer trustees, we do have an investment advisory committee, and then, of course, the plan has a consultant. I think we talked briefly about that last time, Asset Consulting Group. And they meet quarterly as well. We have a more formalized meetings. We have, of course, we talk all the time behind the scenes, but then we have our formal quarterly meetings, kind of like this. And we actually have ours coming up at the end of this week. So I'll get, I'll hear even more current information. We'll have a couple managers in, and of course, the consultant will be talking. But no, right now, we're kind of across the board. We're very happy with the portfolio as a whole, and really what all the managers are doing. But that said, I'd rather prep you that I don't know. It just doesn't seem like this can keep going, even though it has. It seems inevitable that there's got to be some sort of correction, pullback, or whatever. But that said, the next report, I think, we're going to be probably somewhere in a similar ballpark. Again, we might possibly be down a little, kind of depends on how real estate comes in. But most of the funds were flat to up 1 or down 1% kind of thing. But then again, July's up, so as we sit here today, we're still well into the double digit, low side of the double digits through the middle of July. So I will stop there. Of course, if you have any other questions or comments, be happy to address.
Any questions on the report? Thank you. Next item is our administrative budget report as of June 30th.
This is, if you recall, this is one of our busy work items that we have to do each year. Even though it says budget, we're not actually budgeting for any of these items. This is just, really, it's just an estimation of our expenses. It's a report that we have to provide every year. And again, so don't, the worst case scenario is if we spend more than what the total budget, not the line item, but the total, we just come back and file an amended budget. So therefore, typically, we'll have a little extra cushion in there. But we would need, certainly if you have any questions about anything, let me know. Or if you want to make any corrections to any of the line items, we can do that. But at some point in the proceedings here, we would need to approve this report.
This one this time, or when, in the fall when we?
At this meeting, yeah, you do. So as a refresher, at the meeting before the new fiscal, because we won't meet, the next time we meet will be into the next fiscal year.
Okay.
So we state our estimated expenses. Then at the next meeting, since that'll be into the new fiscal year, we'll then come back with the actuals from this year, and we'll approve that report as well.
Okay.
are these deducted or billed?
I'm sorry?
Is deducted expenses or billed to the city?
Any expense at all comes from the plan's assets. The city, the only time the city puts any money into this plan is through their normal contributions.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, we're not setting aside funds. We're not gonna, $6,500 for actuary. If it costs more, we're gonna spend more. If he bills us for $4,000, then we're just gonna spend $4,000. Again, we're stating what we think our costs
Got it.
Will be.
All right.
This one's what we've already approved. Do we have one for next budget year yet, or that we'll do that at the next one?
Wait a minute, I'm trying to, I looked at the wrong page. I apologize. You're gonna have to hear me give that spiel again the next one. Because we are gonna meet, I think we're gonna meet right after the new fiscal year.
I think it's October 15th.
Yeah. So, that's okay. We'll still get it taken care of, but we're gonna, basically everything I just said, we're gonna do at the next meeting, but we're probably also gonna approve your expenses at that meeting as well. So this is just an up-to-date. I read the numbers wrong. That was my mistake there. So this is just informational at this point.
Any questions or discussions on that?
25.
Thank you. Next item is the fiscal year 24 audit engagement letters. Whether we're going to do a standalone or trying to find the next one. Or included in the city. I still call it the CAFR. I don't know. And I forget which one we do on which years. So we've all,
Switch off, don't we?
yeah, we alter, and really that's just a cost savings as to whether we do it.
The board decided last year, it would have, if we did the every other year, the board would have selected a separate report, but proceeded with just an incorporated report into the financials, which I believe will be, the presentation will be at the next meeting in October for the audit.
Well, I'm not sure that would be.
For the
Be late.
For the
Oh,
fiscal
is
year
it?
23.
Okay, if it hadn't been done yet, okay.
So it's really up to the board, which, if you want a separate ballot report or included in the city's financial statements. Obviously, there's a cost involved in that to have a separate report. That is the board's decision.
Yeah, correct.
I'm not sure which one we did last year. I don't
I was just
recall.
trying to
Last
think.
year you did a non-standalone, it was included in the city's ACRA, you did that for 2 years in a row.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, my recommendation would be do the standalone, and really that's, the recommendation of our legal before has been to do the standalone every year. They kind of felt this gave us a little more coverage.
That's gonna be about $7,000, it says.
Um,
7,210.
It will not exceed, yep.
the
It'd be
standalone,
7209.
Yes.
and then, so 7210 for the standalone. Let me see the cost for the included.
Oh, $5
40,
grand.
49. So it's a couple $1,000 difference, but, excuse me. But I would recommend we just kind of stay on the path that we've been on. Unless what do you guys,
Sounds like a motion to me.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the standalone audit with Wells
I'll second it.
Hauser. Any other discussion, questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Okay.
We keep getting investment performance like this, we can do this every year.
Take it up with the market.
There we go.
Yeah, let's hope it stays that way.
Okay, so next item is review renewal offer for fiduciary liability coverage and ratify the annual payment. This is our fiduciary liability insurance. I recall it was a 3-year for 3 years.
What was the coverage amount on the first page, on the declaration page? Right there, there we go. Thank you.
And this is essentially to cover us if anything were to happen or
Liability.
questioned us, yeah. We left the coverage the same. Excuse me. So I worked with Garrett to go ahead and get this put into place because it was already expiring. So today we're just ratifying the approval. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the liability coverage and the payment.
Second.
Any questions or discussions?
Only discussion I have is there a separate, in the defined contribution where we have ERISA bonds for theft, things of that sort. Is there a separate coverage either at this level or above it where the investments are being held to cover theft, things of that sort?
Theft on investments?
Yep.
Well, that falls on us. So we have insurance and we have a lot of things in place on our
I
end.
assume so. Do we have copies of that or just something that is shareable that documents that? I think it might be a good idea just to have that on the record.
The insurances that we hold, I'll
It impacts us if somebody all of a sudden, get a postcard from Tahiti where it's like, hey, just let you know your pension plan's gone, so.
yeah. Certainly, yeah, let me.
Be a declaration page or some sort of
Right.
coverage page or something. Probably just even if we have a copy of it, if it goes to the city, just so they have it.
You're looking for the liability above and beyond.
Right, for theft, yeah, for theft from the plant itself. This is great as far as the coverage here on liability. This is perfect, but just if things happen. Occasionally bad actors are out there. You never know, so. But that's great.
Any other questions or thoughts? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next item is ratification of expenses and distributions. So these are just regular expenses, and I'm sure these all showed on the statement as well.
Right.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve as presented.
Second?
Any questions or discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And next is our attorney update. Welcome. I apologize, I didn't say hello when we started.
It's fine. Good morning. This is Madison Levine. I have with me as well another associate of the firm, Veronica Ukros. Wanted to introduce her to the board. I'm sorry that we couldn't be there in person this time, so thank you for letting us appear virtually. The only update I have for the board is just a follow-up that all the members filed their Form 1 financial disclosure forms, which are due July 1st. Just making sure that those are all on file. You can check on the Florida Commission on Ethics website. If you search your name, it'll confirm if the form was uploaded or not.
Sorry, I thought you were saying we had done that, but I know our city clerk worked with all of us. As far as I know, we all have, yes.
Okay, it was just a follow-up on my end. There is a grace period if one of the trustees hadn't filed yet. So just a reminder if one of the trustees hadn't done that yet, to ensure that that's all on file.
Sure. What's the name of the website again? The website to verify?
Commission on Ethics.
Great, thank you.
And you can just do Form 1 financial disclosure form search, and you can just put your name, and there's like a green check next to your name that will confirm that your form has been uploaded.
Thank you.
And that's all from us, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
They were on the board January 1st.
Well, no matter what. Because actually, I'm trying to think, they would have filled, usually what happens is, let's say somebody comes onto the board in March or something like
Right.
that. You've got to, anytime you come onto a board, you have to file one, but if it's kind of in that close to July 1st range, typically you can just, that one will kind of cover you for the year. And then each following year, it's back to
Right.
July 1 again.
Yeah,
So you already did yours.
I double checked mine and yeah, it said it was accepted, so.
Okay, perfect,
Yep,
yeah.
From March, so.
Yeah, and that, usually that works. You don't typically need to do another one just a couple months later.
Okay. So next item is the pension conference. This is a state pension conference.
Yeah, this is just informational. They did give us, set up a date this year. It's November 13th through 15th over in the Daytona Beach area. Always, of course, recommend trustees if you have the ability to get over there. It's good education information. The first day is typically geared towards new trustees. And then the next day, and it's over kind of a half day on the last day. So the next day and a half or, they'll go a little more in depth on different topics.
Yeah, and the board will cover expenses. And just submit a travel expense form when you get back, yeah.
Appropriate expenses.
Thank you for the clarification. Yeah, the FPPTA just had one I was going to go to but couldn't make it, but they do theirs in June in Orlando.
I went to this the first year and it was very interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of information.
Yeah. Overload.
And then the next item, presidential election.
Yeah, this
memo.
was just some informational, our consultant put this together. This is just, I'm not going to take you through it or anything, but if you wanted to read it or had any questions, just a one-pager, because we are in somewhat of a unique circumstance where the two presidential candidates both have been president before, so you have a little bit of a window into fiscal policy and what it could therefore look like starting next year, depending on who wins. And just a little, I thought it was an interesting read, so just wanted to give it to you all in case you were interested.
Yeah, I read it. I'm glad you included that. I thought it was interesting.
Good.
And that is the end of our list.
Oh.
Anybody have any other topics or discussion points before we adjourn? Okay, just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Awesome. Yep.
Never going to pose for it being too short, right?
That's great.
Perfect. October 15th,
Yeah,
October 15th?
should be on the calendar. 24 is disappearing quickly.
I know. It just keeps going faster and faster.
I assume that's just because we're getting old.
Yeah.
Years become shorter proportionally.
You sure do. Right about that.
11 o'clock on the 15th of October? I'm showing 11, is that correct? Or
I don't think we were supposed to have it 11, right?
probably just my big thumbs?
Well, let me see what I've got. You say the 11th?
On the 15th of
15th.
October? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 10 a.m.
Okay.
on my
That's
calendar,
good.
so. I mean, it's 10 still. I know we've kind of gone back and forth. 10 still works?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ten o'clock, you said?
Nice and easy.
Didn't even finish my coffee.